And Indiana has done it. Their first ever Commissioner's Cup championship, knocking off the Minnesota Lynx. This is Howard setting up McDonald, knocking down the tray. Finds a cutting McDonald, easy deuce.
You won't believe what the Indiana Fever just pulled off. Missing their biggest star, Caitlin Clark, abandoned by veteran Dana Bonner, and up against the most dominant team in the WNBA, they were set up to fail. The Minnesota Lynx and MVP frontrunner Natasha Howard were expected to cruise to a Commissioner's Cup title. Instead, the Fever delivered a masterclass in heart and grit. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Natasha Howard led a performance that stunned everyone. What happened in that game will change how you see this team forever. And what Caitlin Clark said afterward, just 6 words, captured exactly why this win means everything. If you're riding with the Fever, drop a comment. I've got the Fever. Let's go. Picture this. The Indiana Fever walking into the Target Center for their first ever Commissioner's Cup final with their roster hanging by a thread. Caitlin Clark, their superstar sophomore who'd carried the team all season, was sidelined for the 3rd straight game with a groin injury that refused to heal. This wasn't just any player missing. This was their top scorer, their assist leader, the reason arenas across the country were packed.
Caitlin and her status, just how did she look? How did she feel today during shoot-around? And is she making progress and getting closer playing?
She's making progress. You know, I think, again, top of mind, I think I told you this afternoon, is just long-term. You know, making sure that we don't have any setbacks. You know, making progress and feeling good are 2 different things. And we want to make sure that she feels good. We want to make sure that she's confident. We want to make sure that we're not putting her in a position to have any setbacks. And that's the priority right now.
But that wasn't all the Fever were facing. Damaris Dantas was thousands of miles away, competing in the FIBA Ameri Cup, leaving yet another major gap in their rotation.
Listo. Hey Fever, good luck. I miss you.
Then came the Dwana Bonner situation, and it shocked everyone. A veteran signed in the offseason to bring experience and leadership. And what does she do? She quits on the team after just 9 games and gets waived. That's abandoning your teammates when they need you the most.
Dwana Bonner was brought in for leadership. She was brought in for leadership. And do you want to know all that these young players learned from her? If things don't go your way, refuse to show up. Continue to get paid a max contract while you are sitting out, refusing to play.
She got benched. She couldn't handle it. I want out. She's not playing well. She's getting criticized. I want out.
Now, let's talk about who they were up against. The Minnesota Lynx weren't just good. They were dominant. With a 14-1 record heading into the game, they were the best team in the WNBA. The defending Commissioner's Cup champions, playing at home, led by MVP frontrunner Natasha Howard. The sold-out crowd was electric, ready to watch their team go back-to-back. Las Vegas had the Lynx favored by 14 points. 14. The basketball world had written the Fever's obituary before tip-off. Analysts were calling it a blowout in the making, saying Indiana didn't even belong on the same court without their stars.
They look pretty flawless, you know, in the way that they're playing. I don't know if different is the word as much as they look even more connected. You know, they're a team that was connected a year ago, but really the nuance of having each other's back on the defensive end, of knowing where your teammate's going to be, you know, discipline to coverages, the connectivity that they have on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, the way that they move with and without the ball, the way that the ball moves makes it really tough to cover. You know, I often say that offense is like a dance, and they are flowing, man. They are making music, and there's no doubt about it. So we have to try to be disruptive, and we have to try to take them out of that rhythm.
Here's where it got really tough for the Fever. This was supposed to be their moment, their first Commissioner's Cup final in franchise history. And everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The players who remained knew all eyes were on them. Every critic was waiting for them to crumble under the pressure. The Fever entered that game like David facing Goliath. Only David had a broken slingshot, and half his army had already walked away. Here's where it got really ugly. Without Caitlin Clark, the Fever looked like a completely different team. They had lost 3 of their last 5 games heading into the Commissioner's Cup final, often blowing double-digit leads that should have been easy wins. The offense slowed to a crawl, killing the pace and rhythm that made them dangerous all season. Ball movement vanished. Players started playing hero ball instead of team basketball. You could see it in real time, forcing contested shots instead of making the extra pass, trying to do it all alone instead of trusting teammates. This wasn't the Fever team fans had fallen in love with.
Coach, this is your first season with this batch of players, and so I'm just wondering if the Commissioner's Cup is just a stepping stone for greater things to come.
Well, I hope so. But at the same time, we want to take care of business now, right? We want to win a cup. So we're not looking at it necessarily as a stepping stone. We're looking at it as an opportunity to win. And then we're looking at it, as coaches, as an opportunity to continue to stack days. We haven't had a lot of consistency in our lineup. And so we haven't really built that camaraderie and connectedness that we need in order for us to be successful. But we can take another step towards growth, another step towards consistency on the floor, in execution, in energy level. We're playing the best team in the league right now, and we've got to come out and we got to play our A game.
Let's talk about Aaliyah Boston. She's one of their best weapons, but she wasn't getting the touches she needed to dominate inside. Boston thrives when she gets the ball in her spots, but her teammates weren't finding her. She'd seal her defender, call for the ball, and watch as guards forced up perimeter shots instead. The frustration was written all over her face. The team's identity vanished without their floor general. Clark wasn't just scoring and dishing assists, she was the one orchestrating the offense, keeping everyone involved, and making the ball move. Without her, the Fever looked lost on both ends. And opposing teams took full advantage. With no Clark to worry about, they locked in on Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, confident their schemes wouldn't be broken apart.
What are some of the keys that you see as to how exactly you're going to do that, or what you guys need to do to approach the game successfully?
Yeah, I think we've got to be disruptive. We've got to make sure that we play with a level of physicality that doesn't allow them to just pass the ball around where everywhere that they want to pass it. So we've got to make sure that we're disruptive. We got to make sure that we're elite at our on-ball screen defense. This is a team that reads really well, that moves really well. We got to be elite at the point of attack on on-ball screen defense. We've got to. We always talk about guarding our yard, being able to guard one-on-one so we're not in rotation early. I think for us, it's going to have to start on the defensive end of the floor, so that allows us to get out and run in transition as well. But we can't allow them to just do exactly what they want to do on the offensive end.
Anyone else? Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
This Commissioner's Cup game became the moment of truth for the entire roster. Could they find a way to win without their best player? Could they rediscover the ball movement and chemistry that made them dangerous? That struggle is exactly what made what happened next so incredible.
Head coach Stephanie White has a motto. She says, pressure is a privilege. You came into the former champion's house and took them down on their home floor. How does it feel to bring Indiana their first championship?
It feels great. We knew that we had to come in here with energy. We know that they're a great team and they were going to go on runs. And so for us, it was about containing those runs and then going on our own.
What happened next will give you chills. The Indiana Fever chose to take control of their story. From the opening tip, you could see it in their eyes. This wasn't the same team that had been stumbling without Clark. They came out locked in, firing on all cylinders, determined to win one for their injured superstar.
What gave you the confidence to come in here and take down this team on their home floor?
We knew we were capable. God has equipped us. And so for us, about coming in here and doing what we know what to do. I think the entire game, coach just continued to instill that confidence, continue to tell us take it one possession at a time. And we did that.
The game plan was obviously to wall off the paint against you and Tosh, but both of you guys finished with double-doubles. How did you guys get freed up? And for you especially, how'd you get going late in this game?
I mean, it started with Tosh. Tosh, that entire first half and even that entire game, just really took it to them, made them have to guard. And so with her attacking from different angles, they had to space out a little bit. And that fourth quarter, I was able to score.
And finally, Aaliyah, what are you going to do with your prize money?
That's for me to know.
Congratulations, lady.
Kelsey Mitchell stepped into the spotlight and completely took over when it mattered most. In the first quarter against the Lynx, she attacked the basket with purpose, showing off her offensive versatility. She fought for space beyond the arc, hitting threes at a sharp 41% clip. Her quick release became a weapon Minnesota couldn't contain. Mitchell didn't force shots. She just played her game at the highest level.
Corrals it out to Cunningham in the corner. Got the three. Indiana on top.
But here's where it got exciting. Aaliyah Boston finally got the ball where she thrives, and she delivered. She posted a dominant double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. Matched up against all-star Natasha Howard, Boston held her ground and gained confidence with every touch. After the game, she stepped up as a leader, saying, "Everyone is important. I think everyone really played their role. We really handled that fourth quarter." And Natasha Howard? She shocked everyone with an MVP-level performance that shifted the momentum. Howard earned Commissioner's Cup MVP honors with 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals.
Howard finds it, cutting McDonald, easy deuce.
Beautiful read by Natasha Howard. And Ari McDonald, that opened up the three-point shot.
Howard to steal. Open floor in front of her. Got the lay. Indiana battling.
This crowd is quiet. Natasha Howard is a former Defensive Player of the Year, knows the ball is coming to Natasha Collier, just gets that deflection, gets going in the open court. And it is all Indiana in terms of the momentum in this game right now. This building is quiet.
She went a perfect 8-4, 8 from the free throw line, showing ice in her veins when it mattered most. Howard's defensive intensity was unmatched. She guarded Natasha Collier tightly, forcing her into tough looks and causing 5 turnovers. Her performance was dominant, exactly what the Fever needed in their biggest moment.
It was a team effort tonight, but with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists, your MVP is Natasha Howard.
Sophie Cunningham brought the fire off the bench when the Fever needed it most. She delivered a huge spark with 13 points and 7 rebounds, knocking down 3 clutch three-pointers that helped erase an early deficit. Her energy shifted the momentum and had fans on their feet.
Gives it up to Mitchell. Mitchell. Over to Cunningham, long range, bottoms! Big time trifecta, Sophie Cunningham.
Lexi Hull stepped up with big-time contributions that proved she belongs on this stage. She refused to let the moment pass her by. New signing Ari McDonald made an instant impact as well, adding 12 points and delivering the exact spark the team needed. Her return to the lineup couldn't have come at a better time.
Finds Hull beyond the arc, it's score! Holson with the trifecta.
And that's how you do it.
Over to Cunningham, long range, bottoms!
A joint effort across the board. Everyone on this roster did their part tonight.
The team suddenly remembered how to play together and move the ball. 5 players scored in double figures, showcasing a balanced attack. The ball movement was sharp. The defense was relentless. They held the Minnesota Lynx to just 39 points over the final 3 quarters and limited them to 34.9% shooting. You could feel the momentum shift when the Target Center crowd roared as the home team cut the lead to 7, forcing a timeout early in the fourth. But the Fever answered instantly with 2 buckets from Boston and another from McDonald. They never let Minnesota get close again. In the final moments, they showed a killer instinct. They closed it out 74-59, shocking the basketball world. The underdogs had done the impossible. They proved that heart and determination can overcome anything. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement that changed everything.
Coming into this, you talked about so much, hey, you got to have the right approach, don't trick this off, like have the focus. Take me inside that mindset of you guys coming into this game and how tonight was just a collective effort that got it done.
I describe this entire experience as a gut check experience, and I mean that intentionally. I mean physically, mentally, psychologically. It was a gut check moment today, and I think for us, it was about making sure we won those moments that mattered. And I thought down the stretch of the game, we did an unbelievable job of just staying together, weathering the storm, and kind of utilizing what we needed to based on our schemes and our personnel from practice. And I thought down the stretch of the game specifically, we bought in. All five of us, whoever was on the floor bought in, and I think you guys got to see that.
But here's what really mattered. After the game, Caitlin Clark said 6 words that explained it all. Even while sidelined with a groin injury, she stayed locked in, cheering from the bench, giving advice, and fully engaged every possession. The WNBA's social media caught her locked in focus, showing just how invested she was in the team's success. Everyone was waiting to hear what she'd say after such a stunning upset. Cameras followed the team into the locker room. The energy was electric, and the anticipation was high. What came next? Pure gold.
Guys, I just know everybody in the league is sick. They're pissed.
Guys, I just know everybody in the league is sick, Clark said during the Fever's locker room celebration. That's right. Everybody in the league is sick. Those 6 words hit straight to the core. Clark said what everyone else had been thinking but didn't have the nerve to say out loud. The jealousy brewing around the league all season. She called it out, plain and simple. The locker room scene was electric. Clark was caught on video sipping from the Commissioner's Cup trophy like a chalice, playfully hyping up teammates, including rookie Michaela Timpson. Even injured, she showed what leadership looks like, engaged, joyful, and right in the middle of it all. The Fever fully embraced their us versus the world mindset, and this win proved that it's more than talk, it's who they are. This win proved the Fever could succeed even when the world expected them to fail. The media's pregame narrative was completely flipped. ESPN had actually pre-scheduled a video titled, "Lynx Dominate Fever to Win Commissioner's Cup," and had to change it fast. That says everything about how shocking this result was. Minnesota showed real class in defeat. Head coach Cheryl Reeve admitted, they just sort of beat US, giving credit to Indiana's execution and toughness. That kind of respect from the defending champs showed how far the Fever had come. This is a team built for 2025 and beyond. They proved they have the depth, heart, and resilience to win without their biggest star. And when Clark returns fully healthy, they become flat-out dangerous. This victory wasn't just about basketball, it was a statement. When injuries hit, when teammates walk away, when no one believes in you, real champions rise.
No, it's not a WNBA championship, but to celebrate a championship nonetheless on Target Center on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, we have a resilient group. You know, they're tough mentally, physically. They pull for one another. You know, I don't know if it's something that I learned that I didn't already know. It's just I'm proud for them that they can see it come to fruition. Being able to handle the ebbs and flows of the game, being able to give to one another regardless of struggles. I mean, we had some players that were struggling. We had some moments where we struggled, but we still gave to one another. And that's a growth area for our team. I felt like our execution through 3 quarters on both ends of the floor was really good against an outstanding team. I mean, I'm just really proud of this group.
The Indiana Fever just sent a message to the entire WNBA: never count out a team with heart and grit. They proved that championship DNA runs deeper than one player. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Ari McDonald. The whole squad rose to the occasion when it mattered most. This win shows that 2025 is going to be special. And when Caitlin Clark returns healthy, this team won't just compete, they'll dominate. Now they know they can win without her, which makes them even more dangerous with her back on the floor. If you've got the fever, drop a comment. I've got the fever. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you in the next one.